Hi everyone. We're going to continue talking about Prohibition as we move into the 1920s and conclude the Progressive Era, which is coming to a close at this period of time. So if you recall, during the Progressive Era, the 18th Amendment was created, which made alcoholic beverages, beer, liquor, wine, that kind of stuff, illegal to buy, sell, consume, drink, manufacture, all of that stuff. So America has become a dry society. And during the 20s, we see a constant clash of modern values and traditional values. So there were, in this case, modern values and traditional values both showed Americans that alcohol is causing problems in society. If you recall, people thought drinking led to depression, it led to people losing their jobs, it led to more crime. So more modern reasons for wanting prohibition would be like, hey, it helps make our cities more functional because there's less crime, there's less people killing themselves, there's less depression in society. But that traditional old-fashioned reasoning was kind of there too. So there were also traditional reasons for prohibition. So instead of a clash of these values, they're actually coming together during the 20s in this certain aspect with prohibition. So religious people, traditional people thought that the family unit, the families, were more likely to be hurt with alcohol, that husbands might come home after a night of drinking and abuse their wives, hit their kids, that Americans might become less spiritual or less religious. So modern people and traditional people actually come together in the 20s for these reasons. And when we actually get rid of prohibition, we actually have unintended consequences in society. People thought that, hey, if we get rid of alcohol, if we have prohibition, we'll actually reduce crime, we'll reduce suicide, we'll reduce depression, we'll make the United States more moral, which was the goal. But we're going to see that the opposite is actually true. So people, for the most part, didn't actually stop drinking. So people would start making their own alcohol, which we'll call bootleg alcohol. Since there's so much demand for alcohol in society after prohibition happens and alcohol is made illegal, organized crime like the mob, the mafia, is actually going to smuggle in alcohol illegally. And to get it into America, they're going to have to bribe law enforcement. They're going to have to bribe and use connections with police. So the police actually become more corrupt. So instead of crime being reduced with prohibition, crime is going to explode because of prohibition. So there's a huge unintended consequence. So people are drinking anyway. So we see that the opposite of the goals of prohibition actually occur. So what this is going to lead to is the repeal of prohibition with the 21st Amendment later down the line, which is why today in 2020 and beyond, we're still able to drink. So, and there's these illegal places where people are going to drink against the law, where the mobs are going to bring the alcohol, where people are going to come and drink anyway. These are going to be illegal bars called speakeasies, called that because you should speak easily or speak quietly when discussing the speakeasy, when discussing the go to the speakeasy. So let's watch a quick clip from The Simpsons to see anything that we just talked about. I think it's pretty funny.
Dateline, Springfield. With prohibition back in force, sobriety's peaceful slumber was shattered by its noisy neighbor, the speakeasy.
Glad you're finally back in business, Mo.
Yeah, that was a scary couple of hours.
The suppliers of the illegal booze, gangsters, running truckloads of smuggled hooch all the way from Shelbyville. And John Law was helpless.
You didn't see nothing.
I don't know why people are always bad-mouthing the mafia.
This looks bad. Better turn on the all-Wiggum charm. Oh boy, that sounded bad.
So we noticed a few things that we talked about in this video right here. So straight away, we see that there's this place called Moe's Pet Shop, which used to be a bar, and now it's a illegal underground speakeasy, as you see right here. These illegal bars people can drink at. Additionally, we see right here that the mob, the mafia, is bringing alcohol in illegally and bribing the police, as these police are becoming more corrupt, taking money from the mob as they illegally bring in the alcohol. And we even see the chief of police in this picture with a flapper, who is a woman that we'll talk about later in the 1920s, taking place in the speakeasy. So Prohibition, for the most part, was a huge failure. All the goals of Prohibition: reduce crime, stop depression, stop suicide, stop people from drinking, make people more moral, more religious. It didn't work. So the 21st Amendment will later be created, which basically says ignore the 18th Amendment. You can drink again. Hope you learned something today, guys. Thanks.